She's a hit. Woohoo! Smile. You may be seated. Welcome, family, friends, and loved ones. We're gathered here today to celebrate the wedding of Natalie and Michael. You have come here from nearby and from far away to share in this commitment they now make to one another, to offer your love and support to their union, and to allow Natalie and Michael to start their married life together, surrounded by the people dearest and most important to them. Natalie and Michael, thank you for your presence here today as they ask for your blessing, encouragement, and lifelong support for their decision to be married. Natalie and Michael, marriage is the promise between two people who love each other, who trust that love, who honor one another as individuals in that togetherness, and who wish to spend the rest of their lives together. It enables the two separate souls to share their desires and longings, dreams and memories, their joys and sorrows, and to help each other through all uncertainties of life. A strong marriage also nurtures each of you as separate individuals. It allows you to maintain your unique identity and grow in your own way through the years ahead. It's a safe haven for each of you to become your best self, while together you become better than either could be alone. You are adding to your life not only the affection of each other, but also the companionship and blessing of a deep trust. You are agreeing to share strength, responsibilities, and love. To make this relationship work, therefore, it takes more than love. It takes trust to know in your hearts that you want only the best for each other. It takes dedication to stay open to one another, to learn and grow, even when it's difficult to do so. And it takes faith to go forward together without knowing what the future holds for both of you. Let us pray. Gracious God, you are always faithful in your love for us. Look mercifully upon Natalie and Michael, who have come seeking your blessing. Let your Holy Spirit rest upon them so that with steadfast love they may honor the promises they make this day. Amen. Natalie and Michael, please join hands. Look at one another now and remember this moment in time. Michael, repeat after me. Natalie, I take you as you are.
Natalie, I take you as you are.
Loving who you are now.
Loving who you are now.
And who you are yet to become.
And who you are yet to become.
I promise from this day forward.
I promise from this day forward.
To be grateful for our love and our life.
To be grateful for our love and our life.
To be generous with my time.
to be generous with my time,
my energy, and my affection,
my energy, and my affection,
to be patient with you and with myself,
to be patient with you and with myself,
to fill our life with adventure
to fill our life with adventure
and our home with laughter,
and our home with laughter,
to encourage you to grow as an individual
to encourage you to grow as an individual
and inspire you to do so,
and inspire you to do so,
and to love you completely.
and to love you completely.
These things I pledge before you
These things I pledge before you
and our friends and family.
and our friends and family.
Natalie, repeat after me. Michael, I take you as you are,
Michael, I take you as you are,
loving who you are now
loving who you are now
and who you are yet to become.
and who you are yet to become.
I promise from this day forward
I promise from this day forward
to be grateful for our love and our life,
to be grateful for our love and our life,
to be generous with my time,
to be generous with my time,
my energy, and my affection,
my energy, and my affection,
to be patient with you and with myself,
to be patient with you and with myself,
to fill our life with adventure
to fill our life with adventure
and our home with laughter,
and our home with laughter,
to encourage you to grow as an individual
to encourage you to grow as an individual
and inspire you to do so,
and inspire you to do so,
and to love you completely.
and to love you completely.
These things I pledge before you
These things I pledge before you
and our friends and family.
and our friends and family.
Michael, do you take Natalie to be your wife?
I do.
Natalie? Oh, Natalie, do you take Michael to be your husband?
I do.
Right. Good. Now I have some questions for the families. Edward Powers, Leslie Powers, Lenny Moskowitz, Susan Moskowitz, please rise. They're rising. Do you give your blessing to Natalie and Michael and promise to do everything in your power to uphold them in their marriage? Thank you. Please be seated. And now all the rest of you. Will all of Natalie and Michael's family and friends witnessing these vows do everything in your power to uphold Natalie and Michael in their marriage? Good. What do you bring as the sign of your promise? Good thing they're not in there. Thank you. Let us pray. By your blessing, O God, may these rings be to Natalie and Michael symbols of unending love, reminding them of the covenant they have made this day. Take hers. Michael, as you place this ring on Natalie's finger, repeat these words after me. This ring symbolizes my love for you
This ring symbolizes my love for you
and the commitments we made today.
and the commitments we made today.
Natalie, as you place this ring on Michael's finger, repeat these words after me. This ring symbolizes my love for you
This ring symbolizes my love for you
and the commitments we made today.
and the commitments we made today.
Natalie and Michael, you have come here today of your own free will. In the presence of family and friends, you have declared your love and commitment to each other. You have given and received rings as a symbol of your promises. By the power of your love and commitment to each other, and by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
I've really found someone like you. Will it say the love you feel for me? Will it say that you will be by my side to see me through until my life is through. Well, in my mind, we can conquer the world. In love, you and I, you and I, you and I. I am glad, at least in my life, I found someone that may not be here forever to see me through. But I found my strength in you. 'Cause in my mind, you will stay here always. In love, you and I, you and I, you and I. Can conquer the world. In love, you and I, you and I, you and
And they chose the song Nothing Is Forever. Okay, Michael, we want you to accompany Kay. Big round of applause. Come on, let's hear it for them. Come on, everybody on the dance floor. Join me. Just one big couple here. Everybody on the dance floor. Come on.
It was fun for a while. There was no way of knowing her like in the night. See where we're going. Another king in the world.
know you wanna leave me, but I refuse to let you go. If I have to beg, plead for your sympathy, I don't mind, 'cause you mean that much to me. Ain't too proud to beg, and you know it. Please don't leave me, girl. Go. Ain't too proud to plead, baby, baby. Please don't leave me, girl. Go. Now I've heard a crying man is half a man with no sense of pride. But if I have to cry to keep you, I don't mind weeping if it'll keep you by my side. Ain't too proud to beg, sweet darling. Please don't leave me, girl. Go. Ain't too proud to plead, baby, baby. Please don't leave me, girl. If I have to sleep on your doorstep all night and day, just to keep you from walking away, let your friends laugh, even this I can stand, 'cause I wanna keep you any way I can. Ain't too proud to beg, sweet darling. Please don't leave me, girl. Ain't too proud to plead, baby, baby. Please don't leave me, girl. Now I've got a love so deep in the pit of my heart, and each day it grows more and more. I'm not ashamed to come and plead to you, baby. If pleading keeps you from walking out that door, ain't too proud to beg, yes you know it. Please don't leave me, girl.
Ain't too proud to
Hi, everybody. You don't have to hold your glass up right away. I got a few things to say. Welcome to Natalie and Mike's destination wedding. Well, it's a destination for many of you. Now, I was waiting for one more person to arrive. He promised he would be here tonight. Has anyone seen George Santos? I'm not sure if he'll be wearing a tuxedo or an evening gown, but he said he'd be here. Well, let's get going without him. I believe it was Protagoras, a Greek philosopher, who famously said, "Man is the measure of all things." With that, I think he was trying to tell us, nah, I have no idea what that means. First, I want to thank our officiant, Victoria Moss. Thank you to the Metropolitan Club and its president, Bob Strang, for letting us have this spectacular venue. And to the event planner, Deirdre, the band leader, Paul, and all the Met Club staff, chefs, servers, and bartenders for helping make this such an enjoyable night. And thank all of you, our guests, for being here to help Natalie and Mike and Kay celebrate and share in this happy evening. Leslie and I are so grateful that you are here. Natalie, Mike, Leslie, and I are blessed to have such wonderful friends and family. We've gotten to know Mike's father, Lenny, and stepmother, Susan, who are both great, and we really look forward to our future grandparenting with them. Okay. So first, just a few words about Mike. Mike's an extremely inquisitive and organized person, down to the last detail. Did you notice the mints near the table assignment cards? Mike. Or the playbill? Mike. When Mike and I first met, he asked me question after question about my family, Omaha, college, you name it. It's flattering, especially because he's genuinely interested in the answers. You are, aren't you, Mike? Mike was amazed to hear about the jobs I had growing up. Paperboy, Denny's, welcome to Denny's. The Omaha Ice Company, the Omaha Sun, a weekly newspaper I did some work for in college. Or my brothers who worked summers replacing track for the railroad. When he heard that, he's like, really? Wow. Well, aside from being organized and inquisitive, Mike is also a good researcher. Even though the Omaha Sun went out of business 40 years ago, Mike somehow tracked down a copy of an article I wrote about my job, my ICE job, and the company deliveryman. He had my story laminated and framed as a present for me. He's gone out of his way to get to know Natalie's sister Jamie and her brothers John and Andrew, taking them to events they'd like, and usually VIP, front row. Mike is a certified public accountant and is about to get his PhD specializing in couples therapy. That's some combination. I can see your ads now, Mike. I can harmonize your books and your relationship. Mike is a wonderful guy and a devoted, doting father, which you witnessed tonight. After a few weeks of taking care of their new baby, Mike said to me, I just can't believe you raised 4 children. How did you do it? Yeah. Well, it all started with Natalie. Mom. If you didn't hear her, she said mom. Well, it all started with Natalie. You all know Natalie. Natalie is independent. Oh my God, she would not let me teach her how to ride a bike. And that was when she was 17. No, just kidding. She was little, and she insisted on figuring it out on her own, even if that meant falling down several times while I stood by and watched. If I came over with some fatherly advice, she angrily shooed me away. In high school, Natalie, well, let's skip her independent high school years. After college, she moved to California for work and later law school. She called me one morning at my office, true story. Dad, my car is stalled on the tracks and a train is coming. I said, get out! Get out of the car! Silence. After what seemed like an eternity, while I sat there, she said, I got it started, I'm okay. As I said, you all know Natalie. She's filled with empathy. She literally wouldn't hurt a fly, and that can be very annoying at times. She's a loving sister, daughter, and now mother. She cares so much about her siblings, always has. She would do anything for them and has shamed us by closing ranks on one or the other one and scolding us. And you know Natalie is hardworking and tough. They say that some of the most stressful times in life are getting married, selling your home, moving, changing jobs, having a baby. Well, you get it. Natalie's managed to get through all of these events in just the past 6 months. Although her apartment in Gramercy Park is still on the market if anyone's interested. For some reason, Natalie and I aren't big huggers of one another. We have good discussions, and we've had plenty of arguments. As several of you know from experience, if she gets you cornered, watch out. You're doomed. She'll only let you off the hook after getting a full-throated mea culpa. But our discussions are often about litigations, law firm life, dreaded timesheets, approaches to work issues. She's a great lawyer. I know from experience. A few years ago, I had jury duty for a multi-plaintiff, months-long asbestos case. I thought, that's no problem. I did asbestos litigation for several years in the 1980s. I'll be excused. I told the lawyers for both sides in some detail about my defense work. They were unimpressed. Wow. They might still be here. Desperate, I said, oh, and my daughter's a lawyer here in New York, and she does asbestos defense work. A light bulb went off. The lead plaintiff's lawyer asked, is your daughter Natalie Powers? Yes, I said. The lawyers nodded to one another, and the lead lawyer said, thank you for coming in, you're excused. As I was going out the door, I heard someone calling after me, "Mr. Powers, Mr. Powers." I turned back to see the plaintiff's lawyer. He said, I just wanted you to know that your daughter is an excellent lawyer. We hate going up against her. He did. But in my discussions with Natalie, we don't talk a lot about feelings. When we were trying to select a song for tonight's father-daughter dance, Natalie started to suggest one, but then stopped and said, maybe not. I don't think you think of me like that, a father singing sappy feelings of love. Well, I know how much you love me, Natalie. And you know, or should know, that I'm immensely proud of you and so impressed by you, and screaming to now. And getting back to that song, I'm gonna watch you shine, gonna watch you grow, gonna paint a sign so you'll always know, as long as 1 and 1 is 2. Woo-hoo. There could never be a father who loves his daughter more than I love you. I could sing that better, but I can't right now. I'm gonna watch you shine, gonna watch you grow, gonna paint a sign so you always know. See, I did better that time. And so I would ask everyone to raise your glasses and join me in a toast. To Mike and Natalie, may God be with you and bless you, and Kay Louise, all the best. Thank you.
Tonight, there's only one topic I wish to speak about, and that is Natalie. I feel very privileged because the information I'm going to divulge, I myself only know. Specifically, I'd like to peel back the curtain and expose to you what makes Natalie such a great relationship partner. Basically, if you took every couples therapy book written, read it, and implemented their contents, you'd get Natalie. There are 3 things in particular she does exceptionally well, but first I'd like to describe an overarching concept. That overarching concept was written in 1981, theoretically, and I feel it is the most important concept in all of couples therapy. And it is that the quality of a relationship is based on negative feelings. The quality of a relationship is based on negative feelings. What does that mean? As opposed to positive feelings, when things are good and everyone's happy, it's easy to get along with someone. But negative feelings are tricky. Specifically, when you have negative feelings, such as anger, sadness, contempt, anxiety, shame, they produce disconnection. You feel disconnected from your partner. And it is the ability of the partner or the couple to restore that connection that determines the basis of the quality of the relationship. And that, Natalie's ability to restore connection, is what makes her a great relationship partner. So she's able to restore connection in 3 specific ways. 1, she de-escalates. 2, she turns toward. And 3, she's satisfied. I'll go into each one. Number one, she de-escalates. I hate to admit it, but I myself am a master at escalation. Most, if not all, couples conflict has an element of escalation. One partner states their point of view and the other partner doesn't respond satisfactorily, and hence you have to then state your point of view with a higher volume. And that's how couples conflict can occur. Natalie de-escalates, and quite honestly, it's magic. I don't know how she has this ability, but it's absolutely incredible. She de-escalates couples conflict, and she de-escalates so well that I actually call her the matador. She is the matador. Because when I'm triggered, I become like a bull, right? Right? And I've seen Natalie look at me like a matador, and she says, with her eyes, give me everything you got. And sometimes I do. Natalie, will you please stand for 1 sec? So, here I am. I'm escalating. I'm a bull, right? And then she does.
Ole. Ole.
Ole. That's Natalie. How does she do this? How does she de-escalate? How does she perform this magic? She's able to put aside her emotional reactions and instead look empathically at my perspective. And that's amazing quality. So she de-escalates. The second thing Natalie does is that she turns toward. There's a concept in couples therapy where in a moment of vulnerability, in a bid for connection, you have two options. You could either turn toward your partner or turn away from your partner. It's actually very tempting to turn away from your partner, but Natalie always turns toward. The concept of turn toward is better explicated with an example. I have concluded that when it comes to having an argument with Natalie, I have no chance of winning. Natalie's a lawyer, her dad's a lawyer, her dad's two brothers and sister are lawyers. I'm just gonna win. There have been a couple times in our relationship where I was certain I had a foolproof argument that I was gonna win, right? And Natalie effortlessly gave a nuance argument where I was forced to conclude, logically speaking, that I was wrong and she was right. That's a moment of vulnerability. That's a bid for connection. Natalie can turn away and walk off the victor, but instead she turns toward. So this is what she does. She feels bad that I lost. She feels bad that I feel bad. So then she'll restate my argument better than I made it. And then she'll say, if we look at this particular situation like this, it turns out that your argument is the superior one. So she wins, but she doesn't really want to win. That's a turn toward. So Natalie de-escalates, she turns toward, and she's satisfied. Very often in life, we obsess about what isn't, things we don't have, decisions we didn't make, and you could spend your whole life upset about that. Natalie's been an amazing model for how not to live that way. She's satisfied with what is. She never is I've never seen her upset with what isn't. I've often thought in situations like this, you have two choices. You could either obsess about things or adapt to them. And Natalie has naturally adapted to them. So there are times when I feel disconnected from myself or from our relationship, but I use Natalie as a model to be satisfied with what is instead of unsatisfied with what isn't. So Natalie de-escalates, she turns toward, and she's satisfied. And she's able to restore the connection in our relationship effortlessly and naturally, stemming from feelings of disconnection, stemming from negative feelings, which ultimately form the basis of the quality of our relationship. Thank you.
Her and Mike. I love them together. The first time we met, Natalie brought Mike down to DC and we all went out to dinner and it was fantastic. So, congratulations.
Hi, I'm Neil. I'm with Katie, so I know Natalie and Mike through Katie being Natalie's cousin, and met Mike the same way. And Mike and I both share a love of professional wrestling. So aside from the family connections, we kind of built a friendship off of that shared love of wrestling, and it's been fun. You know, we share texts back and forth. Mike shares his candid thoughts on my preferred wrestling, which he does not share, but it's been awesome to like get to know him, and like I think like what's so pervasive with Mike is like his authenticity, and just like how much fun it is to get to know the real Mike. And so between getting to know Mike through our love of wrestling, getting to know Natalie through the family, it's been so awesome. And just the two wonderful people. Could not wish any more happiness to them both. Like just so happy for them. Congratulations, Mike and Natalie.
And I'm Liam, and my wife Megan is a very dear friend of Natalie's from their high school days. And Natalie was actually present when Megan and I first met. And legend has it, this is news to the two of you as well, Natalie is actually the one who pushed Megan to go for it. So really,
Thank you,
Natalie did it.
Natalie, going for it.
And to Mike, who I haven't known quite as long, but he's a deeply kind of curious, inquisitive, sweet man, and I've really loved getting to know him over the last few years. So I wish the two of you all the same happiness that you have brought to my life.
Cheers.
Congratulations to
Hi, I'm Vince Powers. I am Natalie Powers' godfather. It was a great honor when my brother Ed asked me to be Natalie's godfather, and it's been wonderful. And she's just the best, and we're so happy that she found Mike, and I'm just so happy that we're here and that you guys are here making sure that we can remember this 20 years from now. Thank you.
Hey Mike, hey Nat, this is your brother Andrew. I think you know him, but they said introduce yourself, so I guess I'll say it anyway. Maybe other people in the future will watch this, and they'll need to know my relationship to you. So for those people, in some sort of post-Armageddon world, it'll be helpful for them to know that I'm your brother. And this is Ruth, my date and my girlfriend, and it was a wonderful wedding, and we thank you so much. And Natalie, you know I think the world of you. You know I love you. We're very thankful for the wedding. She loves you guys too, I think. And Mike, I love you too. You're like my new brother. I'll tie you with John. You guys are like just as good as brothers. Just about, as far as I'm concerned. John's not going to see this, right?
Thank you for including me too. I appreciate it.
And John, if you are seeing this, you're slightly ahead of me. Put in more years. I love you guys. Natalie, thank you so much. We really, and we're so I personally, but I'm sure Ruth too, I won't speak for her. I'm very proud of you, Natalie. This is incredible, and I'm proud of you too, Mike. Natalie's a special gal. She's wonderful. We love her so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Lots of love. I'll see you at the 50th wedding anniversary and the 100th. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
My name is Grace. I've been friends with Natalie since we were probably like 12 years old. I have 2 stories about Natalie that I love and 1 story about Mike. My first story is we were in high school and we didn't have any place to go because we couldn't go to the bars yet. But Natalie and I were out past curfew and we had told Natalie's parents that we were at my house. And so Natalie's parents call her on the cell phone, and it's wherever we are. We're in front of Barnes & Noble's. And Natalie says, I am at Grace's house. And Mrs. Powers says, then put on Kathy Adago. And I'm like, no problem, Natalie, give me your cell phone. And I'm like, hello, this is Kathy Adago. And Leslie is like, Grace, that is not Kathy Adago. Put Natalie back on the phone. And thus, we just stayed out, I'm pretty sure. But I'll skip the second story. But I will say this. One of the things that I love about Natalie is you can talk to her forever. And one of my favorite things about Mike and Natalie is that you can do the same with Mike. And a few months ago, we were driving back from the city to New Jersey and we were stuck in traffic. And we spent the whole time talking about life and relationships and love. And I was like, I get it. I get why this couple works. Because like they have that special thing around communication and everything else. So guys, hopefully they'll edit this down. It was a little too long, but I love you so much. And your wedding is phenomenal. And you're phenomenal. And I love you guys and I love Ken. Bye.
Natalie, I just want to say that you always brought so much joy and happiness into our house. And your friendship with Grace brought so much joy to us. And some comedy. I remember when Natalie had a job in Lavallette, New Jersey. She was working in a clothing store, and my daughter Grace told my sister and I, "Oh, Natalie's working at this store," and I said to my sister, "Let's go see Natalie at that clothing store." And when we went there, Natalie was behind the counter, and she looked so miserable. And it ended up that Natalie wanted to quit the job, but she didn't have the courage to say, "I want to quit this job." So my daughter Grace called up the store and said, "Natalie can't come in today because she's sick." And they said, "Oh, when will she be in?" And Grace said, "Well, actually, she needs to quit." and that's how she quit the job. And every time I go past that clothing store, I always laugh thinking of Natalie. Anyway, Natalie, you brought so much happiness into our house. Thank you. Best wishes to you.
Hey, hello. I'm Ed Powers. I'm the father of the bride and the father-in-law of the groom, I guess, as of now. And I'm grandfather. And let me just tell you, Kay, you never behaved so well as you did tonight. And after 4 months of crying, we deserved it, because all you did was cry. But we love you, Kay. And now let me get back to Mike and Natalie. We love you both. And by the way, I'm very proud of Natalie's siblings, whose off-the-cuff remarks were amazing. And they really showed their own personalities, but all those personalities were geared toward you, Natalie, and you, Mike. And I'm proud of all of you. And I don't know when you're going to watch this. I may be dead by then, but I love you all. Thank you.
So I'm Jamie, Natalie's little sister. It's nice to see you all here. I don't even know where to start exactly. I'm sure you all know that I'm kind of a latecomer in the family.
It's a euphemism.
Yeah, I was unplanned, as they'll say. But
I'll start from back when I was little, and I adored Natalie so much. Like, whenever she would come and visit, she lived in California for a time when I was younger. We would get out the trundle bed, which some people might be familiar, but basically the bed that rolls out under another bed. And she would come, and I thought she was so adult. She had everything so together. She had her makeup bag, her black mesh makeup bag that was stained with powder, and like, it was messy, but to me it was like this treasure trove. I didn't know what an eyelash curler was, and I figured it out. She had this do you remember the lip plumper lip gloss that would make our lips tingle? And that was fun. But when I was little, I didn't really understand like all the things that I was learning from her, because it was all just play. Everything was playtime for me. I was so small, and she came and I unbeknownst to me, partied with her friends, but to me, it was like my big sister's visiting. But then, as I got older, I started to realize, like, that's where I am now. That's my age. She's actually been through all of what I'm going through now. And that never really hit me when I was a little kid. I just figured, oh, my big sister, whatever. But then I started to realize, like, oh, I have these questions, or, oh, I have something going on with my friends, or boys, or school. And she has always had an answer for me about anything, everything, anything. And Natalie has had, a lot of experiences in high school. I won't go into all that. It wasn't as crazy as she was, but I had some questions too, okay, when I was growing up. And she had answers for me for everything, and she always has. She's always responsive. She gives great advice. And the most practical advice too, something that maybe I'm stuck. It sounds like you're sighing. But she'll give me all these things. Okay, well, you should do this. Well, and then you should do this. And have you done this yet? Well, why don't you ask them this? And why don't you do this? And she's already thought it all out 2 times over for me. She's always been 5 steps ahead of me. And I started to realize that not only was she my sister, but she was my friend. And I really do feel that way, that I can confide in you and ask you anything, tell you anything, and you'll never have anything bad to say. Not that I'm saying anything bad or anything, but you'll never have any judgmental word. You are there for me. And I appreciate that so much about you. And I love you so much, and I can't believe, I have been getting emotional all night over you. And I wasn't expecting that. Okay, I'll skip past all that. But one story that I did want to tell, just to show maybe a little bit how much I love Natalie. When I was a little kid, we all went to the same summer camp, all 4 of us, Fairview Lake. And there was one visiting day. Natalie had been living in California. She loves this story. Natalie had been living in California for a while. She came to visit as a surprise when I was probably 11, 12. And even younger. Yeah, maybe like 9. I don't know. No, 10. I was probably 10. And Natalie came to visit as a surprise, and my parents were both there, standing there, and I saw Natalie, and I ran right into Natalie's arms, didn't even look at my mom and dad, ran right into Natalie's arms, gave her a big hug. And later I found out my mom started crying because I had passed her over, because I ran straight to Natalie. So I definitely had great admiration for you as a child, and still do now. And Mike, let's get to Mike. Because ever since you two have been together, Natalie has been so happy and so full, like just complete, I think, in a way that I hadn't ever really seen before. And she had lived in a couple places in New York, and it was like she kind of finally found her place with you. And Mike is the most thoughtful and caring and really puts effort into every small idea that he has, puts all of his brain power into making this one thing perfect for everyone, completely selfless, wants everything to be perfect for everyone else. I mean, it's like nothing that I've ever experienced. I'm the most compassionate person. And and he can beat all of us in ping pong, which he doesn't, he's very bashful about. Yeah, I know, I'm upset about it. And but he's quite humble. He's quite humble. He doesn't like to show it off, but now you're gonna have to, because you're one of us now. So you're gonna have to play hard with us, and you're gonna have to teach us a little bit too. But we're all very excited. We're all very excited to have you in the family and have you together. And I love you both so much. So now I'll pass it off to my brothers.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind when Natalie's just, Jamie is talking about Natalie, that I remember, like my earliest memory with Natalie is she had an amazing CD collection. And I was always Jamie's really correct that Natalie was always very open about stuff, and that was always awesome, like, it's true. Like, out of everyone in my family, Natalie's probably the first one that I would come to with, anything embarrassing or serious questions, that kind of stuff's true. But also, I always looked up to her for, like, all the cool stuff she had, like, namely her CD collection. And so I then had a CD collection, right, to try to compare to hers. I started collecting them. And then when I was in like 6th grade, I lost it on the subway. I left the whole thing. I had it in one of those bag things. Why were you carrying the CD collection? Because it was small enough I could collect. I could carry like 100 CDs in it. But I lost probably like 60, and I never really recovered. It kind of devastated me for like a decade. But Natalie had her whole CD collection, and it almost in the same way, I mean, as good as it was, it became worthless. That's what happened to CDs, basically. But as far as I remember, I don't remember it really ever affecting Natalie. Maybe it's because it was a more gradual thing, but I'm not sure. But I think Natalie's really good at rolling with punches and just taking life as it comes. And it's been a lesson to me along the way. Natalie never gave up on love either. I mean, it took a long time, and it's taken me a long time. But everyone's laughing, but it's true. You have to. It's a long road. And Natalie, it's really, though, it is impressive because you inspire me all the time. And Mike is incredible. I mean, he really did find the right one, after through it all. I didn't prepare a speech. But really, Mike is amazing. It was amazing for Mike to come along, and Natalie, you are amazing too. Really, I look up to the fact that how we persevere. I can't do it, but maybe I will now. And Natalie has always been magnetic. Like, I mean, she's got all her friends here. She's got her Dominican friends from Dominican Academy. You guys laughed at that, not me. And she has camp friends here, and she has friends from all over the place. She keeps in touch with people along the way. People can't get enough of Natalie. And there's a good reason for it. She's awesome, and she'll take care of you, and you can talk to her about anything. It's true. And then, yeah, it was Mike. You really do complete her, I think. It's really true, because you were what's missing. It's true. I mean, it's just the two of you guys together. It really warms my heart. And Kay is lucky to have you two as parents. And yeah, she's blessed to have you guys. And it's going to be good. Thank you, everyone. God bless you guys. All right, here's John. This has got to be the best one.
All right. I was thinking to myself today, what is my favorite thing about Natalie and Mike? What if I could just say one thing? I wanted to keep it brief, since we're crashing Jamie's speech, really, is technically what we're doing. And I was thinking about it, and I thought, you see a lot of lame couples out there. Like one person is into Disney, and then the next thing you know, the other person's wearing Mickey Mouse ears. Like, they kind of impose their interests on the other person. And I think my favorite thing about Natalie and Mike is that they do their own thing, they have their own interests, and they don't try to impose those interests on other people. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Like, I know, Mike does his thing. Natalie, she's into a good British mystery, reading a great novel. I was just going to say, yeah, Mike's into WrestleMania, And it's not like you see them it's not like one is trying to get read this great book or something. They don't try, they don't bother. They know the deal.
But they both like 90 Day Fiancé, though.
Well, every Venn diagram has its overlap. But yeah, but I really do think that that's kind of cool about you too. You don't try too hard, you know what I mean? Like you see all these couples, they're always like, oh, look at us. Because it is effortless. Thank you for that word, Andrew. That's really all I have to say. I really appreciate that. And Mike has been nothing but generous ever since he first came into the picture. I mean, like I said, Jamie nailed it on the head. Everything he does, every little minor, tiny thing, he treats with the utmost respect and care. I mean, he really takes care of everybody. He selfless is the best word you could have used. He really is selfless. And Natalie is, what he said is absolutely true. She really is interested in de-escalating and turning toward. I agree with those two things. When Mike said that, it really resonated with me. I always thought Natalie is the only one in our family who has no interest in throwing dirt in somebody's eyes. Yeah, or mom, yeah.
Mom just won't.
She'll win the argument, but she doesn't, there's none of that spite. Yeah. But I don't know, I just think they're a really cool couple. That's all I have to say, really. I think they're really cool. They do their own thing. They travel with each other. If Mike wants to go see The Cure in Europe, he can go see The Cure in Europe. Natalie doesn't care. She'll hang out. She'll chill with Kay. Doesn't matter. And they hang out. I don't know. That's all I really have to say. I think they're just a cool couple. Toast to them. They're not trying too hard. They know they're cool. And yes, a cheers to the lovely bride and groom, Natalie and Mike. And thank you. Dessert is on its way. Oh, Jamie, here we go.
I have one thing to say. Well, first of all, not only did Natalie have a great CD collection, she had a great DVD collection, which I stole a lot of stuff from too. Well, John also had a good, we're talking about Natalie. The one thing I will concede here and at no other time, Natalie knew everything that was cool before I did. Natalie was way cool before I was cool. Natalie introduced me to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm doing all the 90s trends. I'm conceding. Natalie was cool before I was ever cool. I'm just gonna let her know that right now. Oh, now I'm cool now. I'm just saying Natalie was cool first, just so everyone knows. Natalie was cool first. Nat was cool first. Yes. She was the OG cool. She was. Okay, we're done.
Thank you, everybody.
So my name is Tiffany, and I am the groom's best friend. Mike and I, Mike and I met in 2012 when we were both aspired to pursue new careers as future clinical psychotherapists. We were the senior students attending our prerequisite psychology classes and unsurprisingly gravitated towards one another, having similar future trajectories at a point in our lives that was not typical for the peers in each of our circles. And so Mike and I became classmates, group mates, study buddies, and competitors. We both wanted a coveted seat in a small mental health counseling cohort, but fortuitously both made the cut, which I came to realize was truly a blessing in my life. You see, I would not have made it through the graduate school program if it was not for Mike. He kept me on track. He made sure I had ample time to start studying for exams, begin writing papers, doing weekly assignments, securing an internship, and later signing up and studying for the state licensing exam. He kept me on track. My nature was to procrastinate, to wait until the last minute, whereas he would read an assigned chapter numerous times, to underline, to understand, and inevitably have to teach it to me. His organizational skills, time management skills, and thoughtfulness is beyond the capabilities of anyone I have yet to meet. How incredibly special to make a new friend at this point in one's life. We both felt that it was not the norm and quickly realized our differences were the ideal combination to get us through this particular endeavor. And so our friendship flourished and our closeness was palpable and relatively unique. We were comrades getting through graduate school together due to our contrasting qualities, which inevitably brought us closer, and ultimately we established our relationship akin to family, like brother and sister or two best of friends whom could confide in one another, celebrate life's milestones together, and or introduce a new potential mate to each other. You could imagine my trepidation when meeting Natalie for the first time. I was preparing myself for the possibility of losing one of my most treasured friendships, but I also wanted Mike to be happy, and if our relationship was to get in the way of his happiness and or be threatening to his potential future life partner, I was willing to walk away out of love and respect for him and the love of his life. But when I started to hear about Natalie and finally met her one night, it became obvious that she was special, sensible, understanding, amiable, and beautiful inside and out. I love Natalie. I enjoy conversing with her and spending time with her and respected her wisdom and knowledge. She's easy to talk to, has such a pleasant demeanor, gorgeous hair, beautiful skin, confident, family-oriented, successful, and the list of her wonderful characteristics go on. I was so happy that Mike found love, a woman he could collaborate with, express himself to, a lady whom would support him in his endeavors and he in hers. And alas, I could just as easily tell Natalie about my dating woes, and as I would to my best friend Mike, and be privy to another's point of view, someone whom I respected and admire. Everyone, please raise a glass to the beautiful bride and her groom. May you always be well stocked with bottles of champagne, because I know that every night you're together will give you enough of a reason to celebrate. Thank you.
I was a Hulkamaniac, and my dad took me to professional wrestling matches in Florida. I loved it. I still love it, actually. There was one wrestler back then I loved more than the rest. His name was Lanny Poffo, Leaping Lanny Poffo. He had a gimmick that I really admired. He came to the ring with Frisbees, And on one Frisbee was a poem that he would recite before the match. The poem was meant to convey that he was going to beat his opponent. He then took the Frisbees and flung them into the audience. In 1988, there was a meet and greet starring Lanny Poffo. My dad took me. I was so nervous. This was the first celebrity I ever met in my entire life. But I knew I had to go up to him because that's what we were there to do. I went up to him, I got his autograph, I got pictures with him. Ladies and gentlemen, to recite a poem, Lanny Poffo.
Here's to Natalie and Mike, a couple I adore. That's why I flew in all the way from Quito, Ecuador. They sent an invitation with a nice RSVP. This is my respondezvous. They mean so much to me. I wish them health and happiness and everything that's good. Here's to Mike and Natalie, forever, knock on wood. Thank you. 1 second, please. I'm going to finish this with something not for you, but I have to say it for me. He skipped something. 12 years ago, my brother passed away. And I'm sure you remember Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah. I just want you to know, if anybody remembers my name, it'll be because of his.
How sweet it is to be loved by you. I needed the shelter of someone's arms. There you were. I needed someone to understand my ups and downs. There you were. With sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotion. I want to stop and thank you, baby. I want to stop and thank you, baby. Yes, I do.
I got no time for the corner boys down in the street making all that noise, or the girls out on the avenue. 'Cause tonight I wanna be with you. Tonight I'm gonna take that ride, cross the river to the Jersey side, take my baby to the carnival. Then I'll take her on all the rides, 'cause down the shore everything's alright. You and your baby on a Saturday night. Now you know all my dreams come true when I'm walking down the street with you. Sing la 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 la. Sha la 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 la.
Girl, I know that job you've got leaves you so uninspired. When I come back to take you out to